So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my clippers without a guard and I'm going to remove all of the hair on the lower half of the sides and back. And as I work my way up, you'll notice that I'm going to scoop out just to create a softer line so that when I go through and freehand the upper half, it makes it a lot easier. Alright, so now I am going to remove a lot of the bulk on the upper half of the sides and back, and you're going to notice that I'm just taking the clippers and freehanding in an upward motion to create the shape that I'm going for. Alright, so now I'm just going to blend the sides with the top by cutting that hair through my fingers all the way around the head. So now that I have blended the sides with the top, I'm taking my clippers again and continuing to freehand to create the shape that I want. Alright, so now it is time to cut the top of my model's head. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to keep all of the length that he had already, but I wanted to remove a lot of the weight, bulk, and thickness of his hair. My model has a ton of hair. It's super thick, and it's a very wavy, curly texture. The longer it gets, the more curlier it gets. So what I wanted to do is just go in there and texturize the top of the hair to make it more airy. Just remove a lot of the bulk so that it's less thick and more airy. The more airy you make curly or wavy thick hair, the more straighter you can style the hair if you choose to have that versatility. Now, you may not want to style the hair straight. You might just want to always style it wavy or curly, and that's great. But if you want versatility in the haircut, one day you want to style it wavy and curly. The next day you want to style it straight. This is how you're going to execute that type of look. You're going to go through there and you can see the more I texturize, the more I remove lots and lots of hair off the top of his head, the more airy his hair becomes at the top. You can start to see it starting to straighten it out. All I'm doing is I'm just taking my blades and I'm not closing my scissors all of the way. You can see I'm just barely closing them, so it's just removing a little bit of the hair, not all of the hair in one chunk. And I'll also take pieces of hair where I'll twist it and do the same thing where I'm just going to take my scissors, work my way from the scalp up to the ends, but I'm not closing the blade all of the way. I'm just closing the scissor blades maybe half of the way, so it only removes part of the hair, not all of the hair that I'm holding in my fingers. so now I'm just gonna comb the hair on the top of the head all the way up. I'm not really cutting any of the length. I'm just cutting tiny little wispies that are at the top that I just wanna get rid of. But as you can see, none of the length is coming off of the top. Right, as you can see, the haircut is all done. We created a fade without any guards, just doing a freehand technique, working our way from the bottom up to the top. Now I'm just cleaning up his facial hair so that he is all set and ready to go, and we are now 100% done.